was born in Soweto at Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital. Her mother is South African Mozambican, or has Mozambican origins, but clearly lived in South Africa and has lived in South Africa, and she was born here, that being Chidimma Adetshina. Her father is Nigerian, and that's clearly why she was given the Nigerian names that belong to her father, which is customary. Now, the Miss South Africa pageant is like going blue in the face, saying, we have criteria, there are certain criteria, I think you have to have a South African passport and a South African ID book and be a South African citizen. We vetted the candidates, and this candidate is allowed to compete, which means that she passed the criteria, she has this documentation. And yet, for some reason, people keep trying to cast aspersions over whether these documents exist or not. It reminds me, I don't see why this has become such a major issue. And I think there are deep and dangerous ways in which people are trying to whip up Afrophobic sentiment over an innocent person who is defenseless and unable to defend herself. And at times like this, those of us who have influence in the South African media landscape must rise to her defense at this point. Not because I don't know this person, but this is what has been happening in our country for a long time, that innocent people who happen to be migrants to South Africa.
Dr. Walsh Mpofu. Few hours later, the truth came out that what he said is wrong. Take a listen.
An ongoing investigation by Home Affairs has found prima facie indications of fraud committed by Chidimma Adetshina's mother. The Department of Home Affairs herewith provides an update on the ongoing investigation into the citizenship of Miss Chidimma Adetshina, a contestant in the upcoming Miss SA event. The reason for the ongoing nature of the investigation is that its scope has broadened since the original request received from the organizers of Miss SA based on the information uncovered by Home Affairs investigators thus far. The department nonetheless provides this update to the public based on that official request and consent. We will provide a final update once the investigation is concluded. Upon receiving the request for investigation, the department deployed every resource at its disposal to establish the truth. This has included archival research, visits to hospitals, and site visits to verify information. From the information we have uncovered thus far, the Department of Home Affairs can indicate that prima facie reasons exist to believe that fraud and identity theft may have been committed by the person recorded in Home Affairs records as Chidimma Adetshina's mother. Adetshina herself could not have participated in the alleged unlawful actions of her mother, as she was an infant at the time when the activities took place in 2001. An innocent South African mother, whose identity may have been stolen as part of the alleged fraud, suffered as a result because she could not register her child. The department has broadened its investigation to identify and pursue any officials involved in the alleged scheme and is obtaining legal advice on the implications of the alleged fraudulent activity on Adetshina's citizenship status. And finally, upon the completion of the investigation, Home Affairs intends to press criminal charges and convict all implicated parties. This case, which stems from alleged fraudulent activities committed 23 years ago, highlights the urgent need for the digital modernization of Home Affairs applications, adjudication and verification processes to insulate the department against fraudulent interference, similar to the reforms undertaken at the South African Revenue Service in the late 2000s. The case also highlights the reason for the department's blocking of certain duplicate IDs, and that the court-ordered unblocking of these documents must be handled with caution. Throughout this process, Home Affairs is guided by our commitment to both restoring and upholding the rule of law as well as the rights of all parties.
Hey, lo mntwana lona wase South Africa uzalelwe ePimville. Man, akuna Pimville next la. Lo mntwana akasazi nesizulu or iSotho or iSetswana or iShangana or something. Lo mntwana is a Nigerian. People like abo Thuli Madonsela, abo DJ Sizwe, abo Malema, nabo Lerato Kganyago, nabo Thusi. They all said, no, people are jealous and they should stop hating. No, they didn't know the facts. Born about DJ Sizwe, even nalentwana lega Mpofu, Sizwe, Mpofu Walsh. he was defending something that he didn't have facts of. So, celebrities, if you don't know anything about the subject, please keep quiet. Thank you for watching. Cheers.